words, when this whole discussion began much more than 30 years ago about equality, like many things in our society, the pendulum swung from one extreme to the next. So when this discussion came up about women having equality back before the 1960s,
right?
I mean, actually, you go back to the 1920s when the suffragettes and the women were for the right to vote. One of the things that never gets discussed is that before the women had the right to vote, it was only men that voted. And it makes sense to me that, well, if women didn't have the right and then they did, who gave them the right?
Men did.
Because only men voted.
Mm-hmm.
When do men ever get credit for that? And it's not about credit, but I'm just saying it doesn't make sense that you're saying men denied this for so long, but as soon as women spoke up and said, we want this, the men said, okay, you can have it.
Mm-hmm.
But never in that discussion does it ever get acknowledged that men voted for the right for women to vote. Men said, yeah, we think women should have the right to vote. Women said they want it, we're going to give it to them.
Men elected some representatives and senators or whatever who got together and they put a thing together and they made a constitutional amendment and they said they passed it. But men put that.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
because women didn't have the right yet.
Right.
And when women pointed out that they didn't have this right and they wanted it, the men got together and they said, yeah, that makes sense. We'll do that. Because men are very sensible about things like that. Up until then, there were no protests. There were no women saying, hey, we want the right to vote. Or if they were, they weren't saying it en masse.